pace of living leaves us little time for leisure. Our program will give you a chance to experience the fascinating world of traveling, extreme adventures, hunting and fishing. Each week we will take you to the most beautiful places of Kazakhstan. Today we are starting an unusual trip. We are going to visit a magic country. In the old times, people used to believe that somewhere behind high mountains, thick forests, there's a blessed land called Belowodye, with rivers full of fish and forests rich in game, where people live in truth without any wars between them or any pressure from the government. For years, they were moving, discovering new lands, setting new villages, making bee apiaries, forges, mines and crafts. When they came to Western Altai, they thought they finally found Belowodye they were looking for. Indeed, the rivers there were full of fish, the taiga full of game, and the land had many valuable minerals. Centuries went by, but still the nature of Western Altai seems to be the promised land to the tourists, hunters and fishermen. The Western Altai taiga has some places where nature remains virgin as it was found by the pioneers. People here live just like hundreds of years ago. They have bee apiaries, they catch fish and hunt. Our expedition is aimed for one of such hunting farms. Director of the Belowodye hunting farm, Evgeny Orchikov, kindly invited us for one of the regular raids for the farm protection. In return, we will have a chance to fish in the famous river Uba. The way from Uсть-Kamenogorsk to the central base of the hunting farm took us around 3 hours. 2 hours on highway and 1 hour on the country road. We met power engineers in taiga who were setting posts for the power supply lines. It turns out that they are laying the line precisely for the central base of the farm. The modern hunting farm has to have power. The work is going fast. Over the summer, the workers installed 7 kilometers of lines. A small traffic jam appeared on the bridge. We have to wait while the workers load a tractor in the truck. Well, now that the way is clear, we keep moving. We got to the base by night. It is located near the Uba River shore. Uba starts with thousands of small springs in the hills of Western Altai. Joining each other, the small taiga rivers form quite a full river with grayling, taimen, olex, perch, pike, barbot and lenok fish. Upstream, the river is mountainous, but as it gets closer to the Irtysh, it becomes calmer. The gamekeepers got us disappointed a little, as they said the biting is dropping rapidly. We should have come 3 weeks earlier.
Сегодня 23 октября, но такое впечатление, что в октябре наступил Новый год.
Today is October the 23rd, but it feels like it's New Year in October. The New Year's holiday at Snegirikhinsky raid at the Uba River. It's been raining heavily for the second week in a row. Upstream, that's why the river has such coffee color. When the water is not clear, grayling is hard to catch, but still we try to go fishing. We understand we got a little chance to catch anything. But we didn't believe it. We took our fishing rods and went to the shore to see and try our fishing luck.
Как видите, погода для рыбалки не очень удачная.
As you can see, the weather for fishing is not so good. But what can we do? We will be fishing in such weather. It was raining a little and there was no biting. Our guide Valery Lebedev is a skilled fisherman, but even he had no biting at all. We had no luck for a long time. And suddenly a large perch got our twitting bait. a 700-gram perch. And a little later we caught a small pike.
Вот ловятся вот такие вот замечательные.
Here you can catch such nice perches. This weather is not so good for fishing, but we managed to catch some fish in this poor weather. That's an achievement. Valery suggested us to change spinning reel to a rod with a float, and it got much better. Before dark we managed to catch a dozen of roaches. Well, we had a good dinner. Fried fish is enough for everyone. Even the large Siberian cat got some. Three friends, Evgeny Orchikov, Valery Lebedev and Vladimir Mashkov, have a long history of tourist friendship. When they were young, they were very seriously involved in tourism. They went through all super difficult rivers in Altai on twin-hull boats. They took groups to the highest peak in Altai, in Beluha mountain, and made winter ski hikes up to 400 kilometers long. It's hard to believe now that a modern townsman is capable of a 400 kilometers ski hiking through absolutely empty taiga, carrying everything he needs for a 1-month survival in taiga. But it's an officially recorded fact. At the end of the last century, people used to have such ski super marathons every winter. Those were not professional hunters who participated in such amazing hikes, but urban workers and engineers. During those times, Evgeny used to work as an engineer in engineering department in one of the defense enterprises. They had long vacation, and he spent it with similar extreme hikers in super difficult expeditions. At the dawn of market economy times, when all factories shut down, Evgeny turned tourism from hobby to profession. The 90s were the times when the first tourist companies appeared, engaged in ecotourism and hunting tourism, and everyone needed experienced extreme specialists. Vladimir Mashkov is a complete namesake of a famous Russian actor. Found a job as a rescue team member in the Ministry of Emergency Situations, and Evgeny was offered a position of director in a hunting farm. Evgeny says it wasn't easy in the beginning. In the 1990s, after the Soviet nature protection system collapsed and a new Kazakhstani system was building, the poachers raised their heads. It was hard to fight them. The gamekeeper's salary wasn't high, so only the people who are seriously considering life in nature stayed at such work. It turned out that the most difficult task was to create a workable team consisting of them, a team that can really protect nature. Stubbornness and consistency of the Farm Protection Service brought the expected result. The poachers had to look for their ways far away from the farm, and the game population began to increase. Red deer, salmon, wild boar, roe deer, lynx, wolves, wolverines, and of course bears live in the Belowodye area. Every season, the farm gets several licenses for such animals and makes trophy hunting. Sometimes the hunting expeditions are arranged to the most remote corners of taiga. Spare products have to be stored in airtight barrels, so the rodents wouldn't spoil them. A limited sable hunting is performed in the hunting farm in winter. The sable population may fluctuate from year to year. It depends on the ashberry harvest and other food plants. The payment coming from hunters is used for restoring the populations of wild animals. Especially the wild boars are in big numbers around the central base. They are frequently fed at special feeders. 1 kilogram of food per day is used per each boar on average. This is the northern part of the wild boar's habitat, so winters with heavy snow are especially hard for the wild boar. The swine are hard to adapt to the conditions where the snow depth is over 40 centimeters. And the Uba River valley sometimes gets covered with over 1 meter of snow. The wild boar's life very much depends on human help at such times. The plan for the biotechnical measures at the farm includes procurement of 40 tons of forage. The modern hunting farming is a very expensive activity, and only the government support helps many farms to stay afloat. Беловодье is also famous for hunting for the forest game such as hazel grouse, blackcock and great grouse. Every spring elk, red deer, roe deer come from mountainous Altai to the summer pasture, to the Uba Valley, rich in grasses, and every fall they migrate back. But some of the animals remain in the river basin for the winter. Today the Farm Protection Service is going to a raid to Uba upstream, and we found a couple of places for us in the boats. The Uba River was not too kind to meet us. The weather was bad, but it was still very beautiful. Unfortunately, the weather was not nice to us. Small rain turned into wet snow, the stormy wind had picked up. Two boats with inspectors are moving upstream the Uba. The river banks are covered in dense taiga forests, silver fir, larch spruce, birch, aspen and bay willow. There are main Minda lakes and small taiga lakes along the river banks popular with the beavers. In the past, the beavers were not on the hunting list because of less demand and drop in fur prices, and these cute animals fill all suitable ponds and multiply every year. They build dams creating artificial water reservoirs. Sometimes the construction activity of beavers brings some damage to the hunting farm, for instance flooding the approach roads. We pull our boats to one of the lakes formed as a result of beaver actions. The beaver population has recently went up in eastern Kazakhstan region, and hunting them is permitted. We will try to hunt for a beaver. The animals cut down sick trees. The fact that they know which tree is easier to cut is amazing. A female moose with this year's calf is running along the bank. The moose's favorite place are the mixed forests along the river banks. They like the young sprouts of willow, birch and aspen. The river is navigable only till the Karaguzhiha rapids. Few kilometers from Karaguzhiha village, there is a cascade of complex rapids that only professional water athletes are brave enough to conquer. But we are not going to conquer the dangerous rapids. On shore, we start fire and boil some tea water. It's shaking. I guess it's boiling. It's hard to set the grass on fire. We can be calm about it. Unfortunately, it's not the best season that we choose to travel along Uba. But this was only a reckon. In spring, we will come back here for sure to participate in the scheduled spring count of the hunting animals. And now we have to get back to the central base.